Hello and welcome to Tinker Gamer Hacker Maker. Today we're going to do a quick review, or more of a practical approach to power supplies, while I talk about the Thermaltake Toughpower DPS G. Now this is really more of selecting the right power supply for your computer. So back when I was originally building computers, they were just little gray boxes that sat at the back of the case with these big colorful bundle of cables that came out. And it was a lot of no main foreign manufacturers. We didn't have a lot of options as far as power supplies were going. You grabbed whatever was on the shelf at the right wattage. And that wattage wasn't very high at the time. Now, that's changed significantly. Today's power supplies tend to be prettier, more visually appealing, and have some features that the older ones didn't, like having modular cables. There was a brief few years, several years ago, for power supplies being really big and real big drain on the power bill. You don't need to go big. It's not a go big or go home type of, product you need to buy. As long as you're thoughtful about what kind of power supply you're getting, you follow a few key things, then you're going to be able to get a great power supply that actually works well for your computer build. So, first things first. When you look at your power supply, like the Thermaltake here, it's got probably a lot of little accolades and things that they support and everything. Really, you're going to look for 80 plus gold. You're going to see 80 plus gold, platinum, bronze, silver. Really just stay gold and higher. There's not a big price difference, maybe a few dollars, $10. It's totally worth it just to make sure that you have a very well-tested, well-thought power supply, because it is connected to every piece in your computer and you don't want this to fry. Now, the reason I selected this particular power supply more is because I'm a Thermaltake fanboy. Back in the day, I used to get their heat sinks and other products, and I didn't know some of these newer brands, so I went with brand loyalty. Now, so far, I'm having a great experience. I really like the power supply. I think it's great, but I also learned a few lessons that I will share with you. So one, make sure you always right size your power supply. And what I mean by right size your power supply is you've got a processor and you have a video card. And on their specifications, like specifically the processor, it'll have a wattage amount. And so will your video card. Add those together, and then probably add about another 30%. And that will kind of give you a base estimate of a minimum of what needs for your computer to run. Now, you want to have a buffer room because sometimes devices draw a little extra power during peak operations or under heavy load, or even sometimes you may want to add additional peripherals. Everything you plug into USB takes power, everything you plug into a socket on your PC takes power, and you want to have enough room without overloading your power supply. This is the one thing you don't want to overheat, and you definitely don't want to skimp on. Now, another lesson I learned about these power supplies. So this one is modular, so it comes with cables that plug into your component and then separately onto the power supply itself. So you can see that the back of the power supply has a bunch of plugs, and of course these have separate cables that plug in. What's key here is these newer PC cases have cable management, and that took a lot of room away from what used to be a lot of big empty space, and all your cables are running in every which direction. So now you have to run your cable through the cable management, in and around a corner, down through a cable channel, through the back of a slot, and then inside, and then plugged into your power supply. That's a lot. And having something already attached to the power supply makes that really difficult. So if you want to save yourself some frustration, spend the extra $10, $20 and get a modular power supply. It's going to give you way less headache, and you're going to be able to have a great looking computer because you're going to be able to feed these cables into the channels with very little effort, as far as going around the bends and then plugging it into your main board and your power supply when you've got it fed just the right way. So I can't really believe I'm doing a video about power supplies. Again, little gray boxes at the back of the PCs, that's what I came from. But they've changed. So having a good power supply is very important. So tell me your thoughts. Do you have anything about your power supply that is unique to you or your requirements? Or are you just looking for something for your PC? Go ahead and comment below, let me know your thoughts, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more awesome content from Tinker Gamer Hacker Maker.